Why do wild animals seek out humans when they're in trouble? I think honestly, like there are two probably reasons. The thing about animals is that like they're probably smarter than we think, bro. Like two reasons probably this happens, right? I think they either think that we're like that they know they're in trouble, right? And so what they're gonna do is when they see another creature approaching them, they're probably gonna try to like scare it away, right? That kind of makes sense. But I think the other reason could be because they actually do recognize that, like, wait, this thing might be able to help me. I don't know, man. Let's find out. Let's see this.
Standing by his cruiser when a duck waddles up to him.
Wait, let me go back.
A police officer in Vancouver is standing by his cruiser when a duck waddles up to him, not in a hurry to leave, not panicked. She gets close, then walks a few steps away, then comes back. She does it again, tugs at his pant leg with her bill. The officer follows her, because what else do you do?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that the duck is already kind of being trying to go to the officer and be like, let me try. Let me just poke him real quick to see what he's gonna do. Try to react. And then if he does react positively, maybe I can kind of like try to pull him, right? To whatever need that little duck have.
And she leads him to a storm drain. Down in the dark, her ducklings have fallen through the grate. Stop and think about how strange that is. A wild animal whose entire nervous system is built to keep distance between itself and a creature like us chose to close that distance on purpose. She didn't run. She approached the most dangerous animal in the area and refused to leave it alone.
Bro, the thing about ducks is like they're always falling into those water drainages. Like the more I feel like that's the number one video you see about ducks. It's like them just falling in those water drainages, and then and then you see like the people call like the fire department and be like, hey, I just record I have these duckies that fell in the water drainage, like come help and stuff. I think, bro, I don't know why, but like ducks, they just keep falling, bro, in those water drainages.
You've spent any time around wildlife, you know this isn't how it's supposed to go. The first rule a wild animal lives by is simple: keep away from the tall thing that walks on two legs. So why do some of them, in their worst moments, do exactly the opposite? That's what we're getting into today. If this is the kind of question that keeps you up at night, you're in the right place. This is Professor Primal, and we dig into the old machinery.
I think there's another animal too that like the that I think it's mainly predators, right? Like if a predator sees you, he's not gonna care. He's gonna wanna attack you. But when it comes to the general like animal, I guess, like when it comes to like just the vulnerable animals, do they do have this thumb rule to not approach it, which is very interesting. So yeah.
Running underneath animal behavior, ours included. Hit subscribe so you don't miss where this goes. Let's start with the rule before we break it. For almost any wild animal, the safest thing to do around a human is leave, run, freeze, or keep a wide buffer of space. And there's a good reason that instinct is so strong. In 2002, two ecologists, Alejandro Fried and Lawrence Dill, made an argument that's become pretty...
Bro, talking about, sorry about the pause, but like I remember, bro, like I think it was a couple of years ago. I don't know why, but I really wanted to capture a squirrel, bro. Don't don't ask me why. I just wanted to like be able to grab a squirrel. Like for some reason, squirrels were like my ultimate goal. I needed to catch one, and I remember like, bro, I remember like I had this thing like if I saw a squirrel, I'm gonna chase it. I was like, I think I was a teenager, right? So you can imagine like a couple of years ago, I'm just every time I see a squirrel, I had to go try to chase it. And then I remember one time I saw this big squirrel and I was like, that's it, that's my time. That's my time to shine. And then I'm gonna try to sneak it behind it and try to kind of like get it off guard. And then I'm approaching the squirrel, and then the squirrel doesn't see me, right? And then I'm getting closer to the squirrel. I'm like, okay, this is it. And then I literally like get start like getting really close, really close. I'm so close. The squirrel sees me, and what I do? I book it, bro. I try to catch it, right? And in the second I do, I fall. I fell in the middle of the park, bro. And I don't know why, but I really try to catch. Like that was my thing, and I honestly think that was the last time too that I tried to catch a squirrel. I'm not gonna lie, because after that I was like, bro, I kind of had an awakening. I was like, why am I even doing this? Like it makes no sense. And so I think, but to be fair, I was like 15. I was like a teenager. Like we teenagers do things without like really thinking about it. I feel like so. Anyways,
Influential.
I'm still traumatized by falling after trying to catch a squirrel.
They said that from an animal's point of view, a human walking toward it isn't filed under person, it's filed under predator. The disturbance we cause registers the same way a hunting wolf would. The animal doesn't sit there weighing your intentions. It runs a fast, brutal calculation. Is getting away worth the cost? And here's the thing about that calculation. It's allowed to be wrong.
And wait, I think that's honestly like, isn't that just the main reason why like animals they don't try to take risks with humans? It's just because like they see this huge thing walking, and then like they're this big, right? They're like small in like they're small creatures, and you see like like this giant being approaching it. I'll be scared too. I'll be scared.
As long as it's wrong in the right direction. Running from something harmless costs you a little energy. Trusting something dangerous costs you everything. So the body leans hard toward fear every time, because over millions of years, the animals that hesitated didn't leave many descendants. We do the exact same thing. A sound behind you on a dark street doesn't have to be statistically dangerous for your heart to jump. Your body doesn't wait for proof. It would rather flinch at nothing 1,000 times than miss the one time it mattered.
Bro, and I have to say this. I hate getting jump scared. It's bro, and I try to fix it so many times, but it's just naturally impossible. Like I work night shifts, right? And a lot of times I go back, so I work outside, um, moving trailers because I drive trucks, and bro, a lot of times I gotta go behind the trailers and it's dark. And then here in Florida, it's not only dark, but it's like like very forced, like jungle, like very trees everywhere. Let's just put it that way. Like there's just trees everywhere, right? Like it's very dense with trees and jungle and whatever. And so, bro, imagine this: you work night shift in a warehouse, and then you have to go check the trailers, right? And so I go back to the back, and I'm like, bro, like the possibility that I'm gonna find a snake, some type of bug, spiders, is like enormous. It's like it's probably gonna happen. And every time I go check my trailers, I kind of like put my tough jacket on and be like, okay, this is gonna be like I'm not gonna get scared. And the second that I step on the grass and then I step maybe on like a little wood stake and it cracks, that's it. I jump. I jump. I, I hate it. And then next day I try it again. and I'd be like, okay, this time I'm not gonna get jump scared. But bro, like when it's 2 a.m. and you gotta go check the trailers and it's dark and you just naturally do it. Come on, I hate it, bro. I'm telling you.
Fear isn't weakness. It's a bet, and it's usually the smart bet. So if fleeing is the rule, and the rule is a good one, why would an animal ever walk toward us? The easy answer is the one that feels nice. She trusted him. She knew he was good. She was asking for help.
I wonder how an animal decides what what humans looks nice and what. I wonder, bro. I wonder if we have this like aura that like radiates around us, and then animals can actually see it through it. Can actually see our energy. Think about it. That actually makes I believe it.
And maybe. But let's not hand her a human mind just because the scene tugged at ours. There are colder explanations sitting right next to that one, and most of the time, the truth is a tangle of several at once. Desperation, past experience, habituation to people, a brain reading patterns, and landing some.
It's like the if you've been to New York, you know what that is like the like
Past experience,
the doves
habituation.
in New York, they just get used to humans. Like they don't care about humans. Like they just walk like citizens in New York.
To people, a brain reading patterns, and landing somewhere it normally wouldn't. None of those are as pretty as gratitude, but they're more honest, and honestly, they're more interesting. Here's the version I keep coming back to. To a wild animal, we're not just a weird kind of predator. We're a kind of creature that rearranges the world. We open things. We lift things. We cut. We pull objects loose. We pour water into bowls. We move what won't move.
Yeah, man, like we're probably like a very interesting. I really wish we could for one day. I think there's a movie. I mean, not only a movie. I'm sure there's like multiple movies now, but I wanted to like that move movies that like talks about like that it's kind of like basically you like if we could speak to animals, right? Like and in the end we can interact with animals. And I really wanted to, bro, for one day be able to like understand animals. Just one day. It would be so interesting, bro. Here in Florida, we got a lake back in the where I live, and we see everything, bro. It's like turtles, alligators. There's alligators literally like in my backyard, and then we have all types of birds, deers, otter. Bro, all I'm saying is, I wish I could just get back there and be like, hey, like let's just chat, like let's just see what's up. You know what I mean?
Move on its
But that maybe in the next life.
own. No other animal in their environment does that, not at our scale. The animal doesn't need to think in words. It doesn't need a sentence like, that human could help me. It can learn something much simpler and much shallower than that. Something closer to, that creature changes things. This fits with what researchers have been finding about animal cognition. A 2020 review by Madeleine Guma and her colleagues looked at how animals actually behave around people, and the picture that came out wasn't a single reflex. Animals use our behavior as information, where we're looking, how we're moving, what we did last time. For a lot of
So it's basically like they just kind of understand that we're capable of doing more things that they are. They see a pattern where it's like that guy that creature seems like it's capable of many things, but at the same time it's almost like they 99% of humans, unless if you're like a very bad human being, don't be bad, is you're gonna go attack a poor animal. Like you're gonna see a duck, and what are you gonna do? Like you're gonna throw rocks at a duck? No, they're gonna hate humans. But if for the majority of its life, a duck sees that a human is a very like it's a creature that it's a being it's a thing that doesn't attack him back or attack him, they might actually grow out of that deception of thinking that humans are going to eat them, even though it still happens, but they don't need to know about that, right?
Species, human isn't one fixed thing. It's a bundle of cues they read and respond to case by case. And that bundle can get specific. Some animals don't just sort us into threat and not threat. They sort us into individuals. John Marsluff and his team at the University of Washington showed this with crows back in 2010. Researchers wore a particular mask while doing something the crows didn't like, and the birds remembered that face. Not for a day, for years. They'd scold it on sight, and they
Bro, I saw a TikTok about crows, and they literally remember not only your face, but they will pass to their friends, their generations, to their community. How do they communicate? I don't know. But if there's one animal that you cannot mess with, are crows. Every time I see a crow, I leave it alone. I don't even look at it. I don't even try anything funny. I just say hi, get out.
passed the grudge along to crows that had never even
Yeah,
seen the original event. Around the same
that's
time,
actually insane.
work out of the
How that
University of
works.
Florida by Doug Levy and colleagues found that urban mockingbirds learned to pick out the specific person who'd been getting too close to their nest and treated that one person differently from everyone else walking by. None of this proves any animal asks for help. What it proves is smaller and stranger. For certain animals, we are not all the same event. There's the dangerous human, the boring human, the one that means food, the one that means water, the one that opens things. If an animal can hold that many versions of us in its head, then walking toward one of us in a crisis stops looking like a glitch and starts looking like a choice between bad options.
So it's just two ways, right? Like it's either an animal that lives in the wild that has never seen humans, and once it sees a human, it's never gonna approach it because it's like, what the heck is that thing, right? But if it's an animal that is used to seeing how humans interact and do things, then it's a lot more likely for that animal to actually approach it in case of an emergency, because the animal understands that the human is capable of helping them. It just finds a human interesting, right?
Because sometimes that's exactly what it is. Real quick, while we're here, if
Mm,
this is making you rethink something you've seen an animal do,
mm.
drop it in the comments. I read them, and the best video ideas on this channel come straight out of that section. And if you're enjoying this, genuinely helps the channel reach other people who think about this stuff. Okay, back to it. Here's where the whole thing turns. An animal can run from a predator. That's what running is for. But you
True.
can't run from a storm drain your ducklings fell into. You can't run from a balloon string wound tight around your chick. You can't run from thirst when the heat won't break.
Yeah.
You can't run from your own head stuck in a jar or a net that pulls tighter every time you struggle. When the old answers stop working, behavior gets strange. The flee reflex has nothing to flee. And in that gap, an animal sometimes does the thing it would never normally do. Approaching the danger becomes the
Bro, I'm telling you, I already told you this in the beginning of the video. They see through your energy. Am I going crazy? Maybe. But I feel like animals, they're so pure, bro. Like they see things that we don't see. They see, and you know what's so funny is that like how do we even know how animals look like? How do animals have like see the world? You know what I mean? Because I saw a video of like a hunter will wear a bright orange vest, and the reason is because deers they don't process green, um, well, I mean bright colors, so they just perceive it as green. And so, for example, a deer will not be able to see a doesn't isn't able to see a tiger because the tiger is orange. So like bright, vibrant colors, deers do not see it. So a tiger is hard for a deer to see, and for a deer, a tiger is actually green. And so that's why hunters they use a orange vest because deers can't perceive the orange. But then how did we find out? That's what blows my like. How do we know? Like just by observing the deer and kind of making assumptions that like, wait a second, the deer does maybe it's like a bunch of tests. Is like test test A. Let's see how a deer react with a orange vest. Test B. Let's see how a deer reacts with a green vest, or not a bright color vest. And then the scientists find out somehow. Like that blows my mind. Like how do we even know what animals see? I don't know, man. Science is a little bit sketchy sometimes. Makes me wonder, like, is it built like how believable is science? I guess it's very believable, right? Like these guys are very they have their sources. Crazy.
One strategy that hasn't failed yet. Look at what actually happened without dressing it up. In Cincinnati in 2016, a goose walked up to a parked police cruiser and started pecking at the door. Not once, over and over, until an officer got out. Then she moved off, and the officers followed, and they found her gosling tangled in a balloon string a short distance.
Bro, I wonder if ducks know that police officers are like good people, in the majority of the time. I wonder if they see like, wait, I recognize that uniform. That those people are very calmed. They're just chilling, whatever. I wonder if ducks are that smart to understand that a police officer might be able to help them.
Distance away. We don't have to pretend she was thinking like a person to admit what she did. She aimed human attention at a problem. In the animal world, directing attention is already a lot. Or the koala near Adelaide in 2019. During a brutal heat wave, it walked right up to a group of cyclists, climbed onto one of their bikes, and drank water they offered.
Oh, but isn't koala the dumbest animal in the animal kingdom? Like some somehow they don't die. They don't die. Like they're just the dumbest animals. Like I'm not even joking. Look, what is the dumbest animal in the world? I told you. Intelligence in the animal kingdom is subjective, but koalas are widely considered one of the least intelligent animals. Bro, they don't even know. They don't even care. They don't even understand that humans could be predators. They just see like, oh, here's a human. Like, let me go interact with them. Let's see if it says anything else about it. They have a very smooth brain with extreme. Like, is it? Don't they just die because like they forget that they're sleeping or something like that, and they just fall off the trees? It's something. In the year. Yeah.
it. That one's probably less about trust and more about a body running out of road. That when you're that close to collapse, the gap between fear and need gets very thin. The koala didn't decide humans were friends. It was too dry to keep its distance. And the duck we started with didn't need to understand the word rescue. She just had to keep pestering a creature she'd somewhere learned could lift a grate. I want to be careful here because this is where it's easy to go off the rails. A lot of what we call asking for help might be something much plainer. Habituation, an animal that's used to people because it lives near them. A search for food.
Bro, can you imagine if an animal like becomes so intelligent that he learns how to lure humans, and then imagine like you see let me think, a freaking bunny, and the bunny like comes to you and be like, hey, come help me, I need help, and then, and then you follow the bunny, and then you get there, and then there's like a mob of 10 bunnies, like, and then they jump you, and then they start and they rob you, bro. Imagine if they learn how to lure humans. That would be the funniest thing.
Dressed up as affection, low energy, disorientation, sickness, a young animal that simply never learned the fear yet. Sometimes an animal walks toward us not because it sees something in us, but because it's out of better options. But being careful doesn't mean killing the thing. That's beautiful about these moments. It just means we don't shove human sentences into an
I realized I just forgot to put in full screen, so my bad.
animal's head because the scene moved us. The goose can be remarkable and not be grateful. Both can be true. And underneath all of it, there's something I think we recognize, even if we don't say it out loud. Looking for help is one of the oldest things a body in trouble does. Before gratitude, before morality, before language, there's a much older fact. Alone, it can't be done. We carry that too. We like to look self sufficient, but in real panic, in sickness, in exhaustion, when someone we love is the one in danger, the body stops posing. It goes looking for another body. So maybe a wild animal that comes toward a human isn't saying you're good. Maybe it's making a simpler bet. Alone, I can't. And that creature over there has moved the world before. To go looking for a human, an animal doesn't have to understand humanity.
Bro, matter of fact, I also just saw a video on TikTok not too long ago. It was like it was like a key that this lady she lost her her key fell inside a little like concrete hole where she couldn't like reach it. And then her cat understood that she was trying to reach something in that little like gap, and then the cat's paw was small enough to actually be able to dig it and grab the key out of the hole. So even so, that's so true that not only humans, we are not the only creatures that ask for help, but animals, they also understand that we need help and try to help us. You know what I mean?
But it does have to have learned something about us. And that might be the strangest part of all. For some animals, we're not only the danger, we're the dangerous animal that every now and then takes the danger away. If that landed for you, tell me in the comments which of these
Wow.
you'd have a hard time explaining as just instinct. Give the video a like if you want more like this. And if you haven't seen the video on the screen right now, that's the one to watch next. It picks up right where this leaves off.
Bro, I'm telling you, in my in my opinion, animals, they see through your energy. They can see it. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. I just feel it, bro. I just feel it.